Good evening and welcome to. I needed to update Steam before I could do anything, which is why I haven't quite managed to get Crusader Kings going yet. So where were we? It's been a little while, and heave. We are Duke. We are playing as Duke Gregory the Thin of Capua. I can remember what's going on, and I think has he just inherited the title? Thin-minded, sorry. Who? No, is actually 8 years into his dukedom. Oh yes, no. So I can't quite. That's the wrong button. I can't quite remember where we were. Oh, we just been called into what was obviously going to be a disastrous revolt war in Italy. Yes, I remember. Because the King of Italy has like 4,500 troops. We have about 3,000 troops. Maybe we can contribute a bit more if we muck around a bit. We can get that up to 4,500. But the revolt has 9,500. So, this doesn't feel like it's going to end well for the current King of Italy. Moreover, maybe that wasn't the button I wanted. Do I want that button instead? What's shift plus right click to go to the top liege of the province owner. Except it doesn't. Have I accidentally got one of my modifier keys on again?
I think it must have done. Press F to learn the ways of the state.
That's better. So King Alberic of Italy is like my nephew, is married to my sister. But the revolt, while the revolt is being run by Rolando the Scholar, patrician of Ventimiglia, he's actually, the person he's trying to put onto the throne is Godofred Bosanid, who is my uncle, who is admittedly married to someone who is, as far as I can tell, not related to me at all. No, she's dead. So I can probably marry him to another one of my sisters or something. So, I'm not sure I really care who's the King of Italy. I happen to have an alliance with the current one, which means I'm kind of contractually obliged to come into this fight. But it doesn't really matter. Excuse me, swapping laptops so I've got the correct one on my lap. Doesn't really matter to me which one of them is king, because they'll almost certainly both accept an alliance with me, and will thus come to assist me in whatever stupid activities I'm engaging in. So yes, I don't really want to have all my armies slaughtered in this stupid war. The benefit in winning it for me is fairly tiny. So there's been one tiny battle and one huge battle, and the existing regime lost the huge battle. Right, excuse me, I just need to do some mucking around with IRC. Yes, I had a thing to say about that, Claire, which I shall. Where's my thing gone? Right, so where was I? Yes. Oh, yes, I was going to mention a thing about... No, not about that. About the falsetto moments in that Piston Damp song where he switches registers for one word in a chorus repeatedly. If you listen carefully, in one of the occasions in that one, he doesn't switch registers and does the high note in his usual register, just to show that he can, probably. Yes, and thing. Where was I? Yes, back to this. Yes, I do like a bit of spinkly synthesizers. What do I do here? I don't know. Well, let's look at my other problems, because I have some other problems, which I think I remember investigating, unless I'm terribly confused and I'm still one episode behind. Because, like the previous thing, I was thinking I've just inherited this, though that was previous episode. Because I was investigating this mess over here, Edgefrith, bloody Edgefrith, who managed to lose his carefully arranged too old to have children wife and find himself a new one and have a son by her, one Edgefrith's son, who is now 3 years old, all without my noticing. Which means that my attempt at giving him is effectively a viscountcy has come undone a bit, because he now has a son who will inherit his county. On the other hand, he's still a brilliant chancellor. I think he's still my chancellor, isn't he? So I don't actually just want to murder him. Anyway, that wouldn't help. I don't really want to annoy him by revoking the county. So I think, at best, I would quite like to stop him having too many more children, and then we'll deal with the situation once the son inherits and we no longer have a good chancellor in this county. Because there is a slight problem. You can see his opinion of me is only 32, which is not very good. That's because he desires the Duchy of Majorca, because I'm the Duke of Majorca, but he holds a county in Majorca and my capital isn't in Majorca. So what this tells me is that I actually don't want to hand out counties in Majorca to people. I want to keep them in my domain, so that there isn't anyone who's pissed off with my owning them. Yes, I need thus to get that back at some point and dish out different counties. So I have arranged, haven't I, that every damn bishopric has Zinger as its nominal successor, so that I can get him landed, which Verity assures me will make it safe for me to press his claim on Foggia in a way that won't cause him to immediately become independent. And we'll also have the nice side effect that Foggia will remain a theocracy, so that won't be a hereditary county, and I'll get to keep appointing people to it, and it will provide taxes, which will be nice, because I'm kind of taking the approach here of not using vassal levies, liege levies, and trying to doing things with my own domain levies, and trying to make at least some of my vassals decent sources of taxes, and this is kind of working. So we'll see. Like, my tax income is pretty decent at the moment. Oh, I'm still 2 over my domain limit, aren't I? So I really do actually want to give stuff away. So what are the things that I want to give away? I had a sequence of priorities, which is that primarily I want to give away CK2, yes, which I've accidentally ended up owning again. So are any of my council pleasantly old? I think only my spy master is currently 67. He has a son, but his son is a bishop. So I think that means his son can't inherit anything. Which I think makes it safe to make Bran Count of CK2. Though obviously I also need to ensure that he doesn't have any more children by, for instance, finding himself a wife. So I need to find him a suitable wife. Or it occurred to me a little while ago, if he's old enough, I can just betroth him to a newborn who is less likely to randomly die, and then he'll just have to sit around for
Probably.
he'll have to sit around for 16 years while she grows up. And given he's 67, sitting around for 16 years will probably be fatal. On the other hand, we have a tolerable 50-year-old just sitting around in our court. Maybe we should just hand her over. She would gain 100 prestige for marrying the relative of a bishop. Right, so yeah, let's do that. So she's 50, he's 67. He probably won't outlive her, but what I should do is to actually mark him as a person of interest, so I get to see, and probably her too, just to be on the safe side, get notified if anything interesting happens to them. Right, so now let's grant him the county of Chieti. So then he'll be a landed vassal of mine, and thus no one can poach him from me. He is actually a worthwhile... Yes, he is a good spy master. He is someone I want. But as a landed vassal, no one will be able to poach him from me, which would be good. So you can become Count Bran of Chieti. There we are. Oh, he does. Oh, that's unfortunate. His heir is like some random chief in Ireland. Oh dear. How did that happen? I didn't look hard enough at his family tree. Well, I mean, I say that, but I'm now confused. Who is this person and how are they related to him? They don't appear in his family tree. I'm slightly confused. Oh, right, because we have to go back to his first wife to find that bishop, who indeed isn't the heir despite being the son of the current count. Yeah, that's fine. We could try the house tree. So Bran has that one son. I really don't understand. Oh, hang on, no, that's his player heir. That's who would inherit if I were playing at who I would play as if I were playing as him and he then died. But that's not necessarily the heir, except he is the heir to the County of Chieti. How is he the heir to the County of Chieti? I don't understand. Right. Chieti. Agnatic, cognatic, gavelkind. So who are your relatives? No one who looks familiar there. I really don't understand how this inheritance is happening. I mean, like, I'm sure we can deal with it, but it's kind of infuriating. Indeed, what I now want is to get him to have children, but I can't. Because it would be much... I don't want this to inherit into some random Irish kingdom. Actually, quick check. No, that's not going to work, is it? I'm going to unpause for a day, just in case this is some weird temporary thing. No, it definitely has. Chief Donchad or Donchad or something of somewhere I'm not going to even try to pronounce. heir to CK2. So he has one child. We don't think that child is relevant. His liege is me. His parent is dead, and we apparently have no idea who his mother is. Ditto grandparent. Oh, right. Oh no, I've just got back to Bran again. I thought I'd managed to find a path through this moderately ludicrous how do I... So if I just filter this to living characters. No, that doesn't seem to be actually filtering it to living characters. How do I scroll this? How do I scroll the house view? Oh, with the right mouse button. That's fine, I've sorted it out. So presumably one of these other branches of the dynasty ends in someone who's still alive. No? So it's not anyone of the same dynasty. Do we need to go up a dynasty somehow? I mean, this is definitely this is an astonishingly distant relationship situation.
I mean, just sanity check and go back to the person that we originally thought of. So the problem is his wife's still alive and his child is a bishop, so his heir is going to be Stoughton McStoatface.
Yes.
Right.
Who is of a different dynasty. But and I think the two dynasties are like split apart like about 10 generations ago. Mm-hmm. But some bastard has been keeping records.
So, of course, one thing that you can do is try murdering his current wife and supplying him with a new one.
I mean, this might all turn out all right. And I don't think I don't think taking the county back from Mumu is going to be that hard, if I have to. Hang on. Let me just... No, I don't think this will work. No, Bran is not the heir to anything, sadly. Because obviously the neat trick would be to somehow arrange that the inheritance goes backwards, and we get the Irish county instead. Still, this is what I get for going and giving things to someone who actually has a dynasty. Dangerous business, that. Well, we'll work it out in due course. I mean, like, problem is, if Count Bran goes and gets himself killed, then we're going to lose the county. I don't think I have a persistent claim on it. No. He has far too many children. So yes, our best bet really is for Bran to have children now. Oh well. We'll sort it out one way or another, I'm sure. Right. So, anyway, I'd quite like to get rid of another county. And I think the next best ones to get rid of, I've already dealt with Orbitello, is probably Orvieto. I think. Is there some reason why I want to keep the ones in... Yes, because I can't use the bishopric here for anything. So... It's a slight problem that the rest of my council are quite young. So it's going to be pretty hard to keep them childless. Kind of tempting to go, well, celibate worked for me. No, I'm not recruiting someone with those stats. I'm just going, can I grab a convenient random celibate person? I suppose they also have to have no children. Yes. But he does have a dynasty. That's dangerous. I think the answer is no, I can't. Well, the utterly terrible... Alright, he has a dynasty, but it consists solely of him. That's safe, I think. He has a dynasty that consists solely of him and no parents. And he's 51. He's not much use, but he's celibate, so there's no danger... He's gay and celibate, so there's no danger that he's going to randomly produce children. One thing that gives him a minus 10,000% facility, and another thing that gives him an extra minus 15% just to be on the safe side. Let us gratuitously invite this useless person to my court. simply because he might make a safe pair of, well, okay, a only slightly dangerous pair of hands. And then I've got this bloody war. They haven't even raised most of their levies. Is that really correct? Yeah, he's got... That suggests that he's actually got most of them raised. I'm wondering about, like, sneaking in and besieging things and then trying to run away if anything looks like being unhappy.
Stalking right up the back with a brick.
Yeah, more or less. Because I'm kind of finding it hard to think. What else to do, given the vast imbalance in forces, unless right, so this one definitely has no living or unliving relatives. He has no parents, and therefore he can't possibly have a distant cousin that split off 17 generations ago. And he's very unlikely to produce any new children. I could perhaps give him a wife, I think in part just to try to improve his stats a bit.
I'll marry you to some dexterity and charisma.
Yes. I mean, we might plausibly also want to make it someone reasonably old just to be on the safe side. I mean, she looks like she'd be an excellent person to have around.
Ridiculous. You have 9 different meta-diagonal things which occur in a ratio of 1 to 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 root 15 minus 3.
Especially root 15 minus 3.
Right, now he is married, which will mean he'll not be quite such a terrible count. We will grant him the county of Orvieto and hope that that doesn't go wrong. Right, I am his player heir. I am heir to, among other things, am I? But I don't appear to be heir. Okay, what's gone wrong there? No, I am first in line of succession to the county of Orvieto, whether I like it or not. Right, good. That one didn't go badly wrong. And like his state martial and state diplomacy at least are tolerable. I should also mark him and his wife as people of interest, so that, I mean, not that he should be able to have children anyway, but, you know, maybe he'll cease being celibate. Yeah, like he can give me 116 troops. I mean, in part because I've already raised the levy from much of his territory. Do I have a siege engineer? I do, and my siege engineer is already in this army. Excellent. So everyone is besieging here, and we're kind of hoping that the fact that we've got 2 armies besieging will the fact that we've got 2 armies besieging will help us over them only having 1. I'm not hopeful. They're sadly rather too close to their capital, so I'm a bit reluctant to get involved in taking the capital. Oh, they seem to be marching away from their capital. Oh, they're marching over there to have a fight. Well, I mean, this at least will help end the war reasonably quickly. Right, because that's going to be a horrific defeat for Italy. I mean, it is in the mountains, so it may only be a slightly horrific defeat for Italy. Am I allowed to watch this battle? Don't think so, no. Okay, maybe if I'd actually gone to help Italy, we could have caused that not to be a defeat. Yeah, it still only left them with minus 32%. Going to take more than that. Are you going to come here and join me? At which point we probably want to find some mountains to besiege. You are. Well, let's wait until we finish besieging more places so as to get more war score and more money. Yes, so Zing already has children, doesn't he? But that's not a problem if he becomes bishop, I think. Count of Orvieto is mucking around with his council, that's fine. Oh dear, smallpox has broken out in Chieti. I mean, like here I'm mostly going, well, we'll probably get some money out of this at least. They're coming to meet us. We are currently in plains. Let us march up the hill into those mountains. Let us hope the Italian army comes with us. I mean, yes, I appreciate that you are technically the leaders here, but this is the obvious, tactically sensible thing to do. So I kind of hope you'll be willing to do it with me. And then I need to work out what I do when you aren't willing to do that with me. Now, you've gone in the other direction. No, look, if I become a commander, I'm just going to have an embarrassing accident on a battlefield. Right, which direction are you going in? Oh, you're heading to try to besiege things back, are you? Well, that's kind of weird. Oh dear. I bet the Italians aren't going to come and save me either. If I try to leave... Now where I can move to that will get me out of the battle. I do better by appointing my not quite organiser as a commander. No. Well, let's make sure we have our best 3 commanders in place. We're in mountains. This is probably not going to go well, but we might be able to... Oh no, I don't want to be running away. I want to stay put and accept that while we may lose, we can probably take some of them with us. My brother is apparently struggling to get on his horse, but I'm not going to get involved. Yeah, this is not going well for my army. Stupid Italians who refuse to come into the mountains where we needed to be. Still, my one of my commanders and I like one another more now, because we've killed some commander of the Italian what's names. Yes. That's fine. They're now going to go and beat the Italian army, which is in the bloody plains. What are you doing in plains when you're outnumbered? Was that the sound of a machine gun, Verity? Oh, right. Okay. Yes, but...
I realise I'm being very helpful here.
Neither planes nor machine guns have yet been invented. Oh yes, we have to deal with my inheritance situation as well, don't we? Oh, but I was planning to wait for young Gregory to come of age, because then I'll have my 3 options sitting in front of me and I can decide which one's appropriate. Let's march that lot back up to Orbitello in my territory. But, frankly, like... you should just surrender. You don't stand a chance. Well, either that or you should hurl all of your money at buying... No, that wasn't what I meant at all. Either that or you should hurl... Okay, 444 money's not going to get you very many mercenaries either. You should just surrender. Like, you're doomed. And your ally to the south is going to be completely unhelpful because... he thinks probably his best hope is to go around besieging things just for the loot. Hurrah! We have converted the county of Minorca. I think that means that... Hey! No revoking my counties, Pope Johannes.
No take backs.
I think you're leading to something.
Well, I mean, what will happen if you do is that we'll end up in a war and, well, how many divisions has the Pope got when he hasn't got my troops at his disposal? Okay, he's got 4,000. That is a bit of a problem. Well, let us thus improve matters a bit, since there is a danger of a war with the Pope. Let us set my marshal to training troops in my capital, so as to increase my troop numbers a bit. How much money has the Pope got? Yeah, quite a lot. So, yeah, I think we might make a bit from this siege, but I should avoid getting into any more battles. All right, what? Something weird has just happened to the revolt. Like it's lost most of its land. And this is... Oh, no, don't do that. Not yet. Hasn't lost most of its troops, though. It has a new leader. Yeah, he has a reasonable amount of troops at his disposal, and now I can't besiege things easily. If we could besiege things, though, like it means that the revolt only has 2 counties that we would need to take, but there are like only about 2,500 of us. So I kind of suspect that would not go well, and their troops are parked 1 county away from their capital. So, like, I don't think this has made things any better. At least not until the... Let's send my troops up to join the Italian ones, at least. I probably don't need to keep watching the... Judice of Arborea. I don't actually care about these people. I mean, we've got a new inheritance here, but since I still don't have a claim on the county, maybe there's a new pile of claimants I can tempt. She's not going to be any use. She's got a strong claim, but she's a woman as well, which I think rather limits my ability to press it. It limits my ability to land her in particular.
Pretty much.
Okay, we've apparently found something to besiege there. Right. We now have 3 sons, 3 surviving sons, one of them died, who might be in a position to inherit the county. We have Alberic, who has spectacular diplomacy and very little else to speak of. We have Guido, who has moderate diplomacy, pretty decent martial and stewardship.
Very impressive facial hair.
Yes, yes. And we have Gregory, who is kind of a bit mediocre everywhere. So I think I really want Guido to inherit the duchy, which is not going to happen under ordinary gavel kind. And ideally, I want the other two to inherit nothing at all. But I want Guido to inherit both duchies and the other two to inherit nothing at all. And that is obviously a bit tricky to organise. My kind of plan was to try switching to elective gavel kind and then hope that I can give the other two bishoprics. So currently I have not reigned for 10 years, but it won't be long. I've been reigning since 971, so we only have about a year and a half to go before I could change the succession law. I also need not to be in the middle of a war, but I'm sure the King of Italy will finish that one off fairly soon. Yes, we're randomly besieging a trade post. It's going to be of very little use to anyone except that I'll get a bit of money from it. But like, I'm not badly off for money. I'm just not spending my money on somebody else's war. While I'm here, let's attach those to the Italian army so they move with them. So, we should also thus start watching him, Edgefrith, and probably his son, and maybe his wife, but we can't really do much about her. So what's my current vassal situation then? Now, Edgefrith, whom we have been dealing with about. Bran, who is irritatingly likely to lose me the county of Chieti. Count Marquardt of Orbitello, who has no wife. Right, we need to get him married again before he has any children. Or rather, before he finds himself a wife. He is 71, so if we betroth him to a child, that should be good enough. Yes. Do you think he'd like Aegidia, 1 year old, hunchbacked? Apparently so. He's very much in favour of her age. It's only a betrothal. She stays in my court, I think, for the next 15 years, by which time he'll be 86. So it's fairly unlikely he'll survive. Okay, we're apparently besieging Parma now in a bit of optimism. Right, Aegidia is now betrothed to that count, and thus there is less danger of him finding himself an actually currently fertile wife. Who else do we have? We have Count Niklaus, who we just granted something to, who already has a wife. Oh, we should go back and mark that other vassal as a person of interest as well. He's going to get us spammed with rather a lot of messages, but possibly I can adjust things so that doesn't happen. And make sure that we notice if Aegidia dies. Right, who's our next vassal? Next vassal is a bishop. We don't care about anyone at that level. So that, I think, means we've done the best we can to avoid leaking those counties, at least for now. We've got some knowledge of improved keeps that might enable us to build some extra bits for our... So we've already got the highest castle town we can in Teano. An extra fort level costs next to nothing, so let's make sure we get that. The other castle, which we hold personally, has almost nothing because it's brand new, yes. Monte Cassino, so I absolutely want to be spending money on things there. We will get some castle fortifications there as well. Napoli is also in my domain, in particular Aversa is. That still doesn't have the highest level of castle town I can get, so we better get that for more money. Currently, oh, Portici. Hang on, what? Oh yes, that's the weird thing that's part of the Byzantine Empire, isn't it? Yes, Portici is also mine. But I've just spent almost all of my money on improving other castles. Right. I mean, really, we should go down to Genoa and start besieging that, but apparently we're not doing that. Oh, right, we've gained another castle. We have finished building Pozzuoli, and therefore I'm over my domain limit again. I mean, I need an awful lot of levels of legalism to get more centralisation. So let's just pick a courtier who's... So I want to keep that castle, so I need to find another thing outside of my domain to give away, but annoyingly that might mean I want to give away Barony of Tusculum finally. But let's quickly build some castle fortifications there first. Maybe. Go on. Because holding Tusculum is not particularly helpful to me. So who should have that? I mean, I could just grant that to my preferred heir. I don't think that would be particularly dangerous. I mean, it mostly means that he gets to choose. And maybe we should give him a suitable wife first before we let him go off on his own. So, goodness, she looks good. And she's the wrong religion. And she's Bosnian, which is a bit weird. But, like, other than that, I don't think I can fault her.
Exactly as well as being Bosnian in this program.
Well, differing cultures can cause trouble, but
That's true.
Bosnian specifically isn't a problem so much as not Italian. But yeah, I mean, she is so good in other respects. Wait for him to get properly married. Oh dear, there's about to be a battle which will be bad. Right, she has now arrived at my court. So I think now we should grant him the barony of Tusculum so that he can start becoming a useful person. And it's fine for him to have children. And that should all go reasonably well. This will not go well. Oh, my wife has died. That's sad.
Is it? First wife.
Yes. Particularly, she was kind of critical to keeping my domain limit reasonably high. Right, time to go properly searching for a new wife. So that gives me a 16. What was her? She was 16. So 16 stewardship would be acceptable. Like someone who's not going to have children. So I think I'm allowed any Christian, so oh no, I don't need to worry. I'm celibate. I'm not going to have children anyway. Obviously they have to be unmarried. And probably have to be within diplomatic range. So we can get a 19. And we'll probably get on quite well with her. Oh, unwilling to marry me because unlikely to have children. Yes, of course, I'd forgotten that wrinkle of Yes, I could. Yes, if I don't have to worry about having too many extra children, but my future wives will worry about me not having any extra children. Right. So we do actually probably need to hunt down. Well, the next person in the list is also a 19, and she's 55. She would accept. She likes me, or rather, possibly, the petty king of Connaught likes me. I suppose I could briefly look at whether there's anyone whom I could get a useful. No, let's go for her. She'll do. Bad for my prestige, mind. Very bad for my prestige. Loses me 300 prestige. Problem is, if I want someone who has a title, I may have to be less picky, but I don't think I want to be less picky. See, my problem is that I'm a relative of the King of Italy. I mean, I'm only a duke, but being a relative of a king means that I'm apparently pickier about my potential wives. Only 14. I mean, stewardship, I don't much like that. Oops, I think I picked arranged betrothal, yes, arranged marriage. I mean, there at least I would gain some prestige because she's a relative of Basileus, but she doesn't have nearly so much. No, I think I'll accept that loss of prestige. I don't think I need prestige for much, and I can probably get it back. Go. Meanwhile, our army is busy being slaughtered. History is a subject that has always fascinated you and who has spent the last few weeks studying the campaigns of Alexander the Great. There are many lessons to be learned from his conquests in the East. Perhaps I too will march east someday. Well, I was hoping I could take on Crete in a holy war, but it turns out they're too far away.
Well, it's not so much marching east as sort of
sailing east, yes. Gain 1 point of martial. Well, that's nice. Still going to lose this battle, though. Probably. Yes. Mary has arrived at my court. I'm back. My domain limit is now back up to 8 again. But we're still very busy losing this battle. Still not quite lost it badly enough that the King of Italy has to surrender, though. He's got almost no troops left. I've got substantially more troops than Italy has. I mean, like, we have really very little chance here. Right, so it's not yet November. Yeah, we need to find something to do about Count Bran. I mean, it will be treated as quite rude if I just revoke his county.
You've got to revoke his county, can't you?
Oh, not yet, because I only just gave it to him. And no, it must be either in my capital duchy, which it's not. It must be his secondary county, which it's not. It must be a county held by a duke who is not its de jure liege, which is not. A duchy with no de jure county under its holder, it's not a duchy at all. Or I must belong to a tyrannical bloodline, and I don't even have the DLC for bloodlines. So I can't plot to revoke it. No, I don't. Okay, maybe I do want to get into that battle. We just won a battle. A very, very, very tiny battle. Judice Celestino of Oligastra is trying to usurp my title. His random chancellor is... Yeah, I don't care.
If you're a random chancellor. Chancellor would be fun,
That's
wouldn't
what we
it?
had.
I'm a 50-50 chancellor. Stupid.
I mean, I don't think any good is going to come of this war, and maybe I should just stand down my armies. Right, we've built the castle fortifications in Monte Cassino at least. I've got just enough money to build the next level of castle fortifications in Monte Cassino. Excellent. Let's do that. Actually, maybe I should prioritise adding Castletown in my new castle, as it were.
Oh, I see. These aren't actually. This is real things that fall
We should save our money and start by buying the and next buy a castle town in my new place for more income. So yeah, we're just sitting around in Provence now. Okay, no, we were actually besieging a trade post in Provence. Got 6 money out of it. Doesn't really keep my troops alive for very long. So what are you going to do now, King of Italy, with the 1,400 troops at our disposal? Oh, right, you're Zinga's son, are you? That's fine, we need one of our bishops to die. I mean, maybe I need to start plotting more murders. But I don't seem to be the kind of character who would go plotting murders. Like,
well, that's exactly what I would suspect.
I'm a poet and a gardener, and I'm just and gregarious and chaste and kind and paranoid. Okay, I'm paranoid. That might help. Where are you going, King of Italy? Are you going to march into a completely foolhardy battle by any chance? No, the King of Italy is not the Bishop of Southwark. You're a minus 91% war score. Just accept it. You've lost. The next King of Italy is going to be called Godofred, whether you like it or not.
That's an even sillier name than Godofred Boson.
Right, you're just stomping into the mountains to besiege some more things, aren't you? And win a trivial battle. Like there's 2,500 of you and you're going to mob this one poor soldier. Right, I've now got enough money to build the first level of Castle Town in Pozzuoli. Set that going for more tax income.
Given the time of the statue on.
Sorry?
Probably about 2:30 before the actual on show.
Not too hard.
Minus 98% war score. Come on, you can do it. Surrender. Then we can all go home. I mean, like, I'd love you to win this battle, this war, but you're not going to. Let's have a new King of Italy to deal with. I mean, I can actually raise another 1,200 of my own troops if I really want to.
Yeah,
But I've got the war is now officially lost. Hurrah! Right, who is King of Italy, and do they want an alliance with me?
you're not really mad.
No. King Godofred Bosanid. Yes, he wants an alliance with me. Is he currently at war with anyone? No, he's only just got the crown.
Yeah, but I mean, he could have inherited his predecessor's wars.
Right. Well, yes, please. Hello, I was at war with you until a week ago. But would you like an alliance? Oh, would you like a wife as well? Well, you're considering my alliance request first. Bishop Zinger of Posada has inherited the bishopric of Posada from Bishop Leopoldo of Posada. Excellent. So what that does mean... Ooh, my liege. Very soon the scheming Count Bran of Chieti will make accusations against me. Do not believe a word of it. He hates me and lacks all honour and decency. Oh well, if we can cause that, if we can find some means of causing trouble with Count Bran, do we have... So I don't yet have any evidence that I can revoke his title. No, we are totally not imprisoning Count Zinger. We want Count Zinger on our side. Evidence? This is nonsense. But we don't have enough evidence to imprison him on this basis. Gods, you've got an Italian revolt already! Yes, I'll come into your war. My troops haven't got home from the previous war yet. And actually, it might be worth getting them home so I can raise them properly. Let's get my troops home, dismiss them, and then re-raise them so that they actually assemble themselves correctly. Like, I think at least the current king may be able to win this war. But you lot dismissed, and then re-raise my domain levies.
Who are they?
I mean, like, I may not actually get get involved with this war. It's going to end so soon.
Would have been there if they could. Or something. Newt stream.
Right. No, don't put Bishop Monet on that side. Stick Radbot over there. And march along the coast in the hope of joining up with everyone else. You're actually going that way, are you? Right, we'll let right, I do need to do something actually about my bishops, because no, Bishop Zinger has got himself sorted, and thus no longer has a wife. So I could. We don't want don't particularly want young Gregory to inherit anything. So I mean, he does have 13 stewardship. What's my stewardship? Currently 11. Young Guido's 12. No, that's not really a problem. So I think we should nominate Gregory for all of our available bishoprics now. So that will get him out of the line of succession. It looks like inheriting a bishopric immediately drops you out of the line of succession for all the others, which is nice. And his wife did go with him to the bishopric before evaporating, or at least ceasing to be his wife. Right, yes, we obviously want to take that territory because that's going to wallop up our war score to about to at least plus 50%. And ideally we probably want to march to Provence and take that, but my slight question is, where is the revolt army at the moment? Is that it? No. Curious. Oh, I don't have a marshal. That's unfortunate. Let's just appoint my best commander as marshal, I think. Might want to find someone new, actually, because we don't have any... Yeah. Bribe the marshal of the Breton band. He might be a decent person to have around. And as a marshal, as a commoner, he's probably quite cheap to bribe. Right, 54% war score, that's better. And we are contributing a fair amount to this. No, I will not be your commander. Right, Pozzuoli. Oh, it's. I can possibly change the law as well. Right, Pozzuoli now has its first level of castle town. We can get the next one once we built Castle Walls 1, so we should build that. So, about the law then. I can't currently change the law because I'm at war. Right. We also have the opportunity to change an ordinary law. I'm kind of tempted to turn down some of the levy laws in order to increase people's opinion of me. But that's kind of a bit unnecessary. Oh no, I was going to turn up church taxation, wasn't I? More money! Let's just check how our church vassals feel about us. All right, we need to cheer up Imone. He currently is not currently paying me any tax because he prefers to pay he prefers the Pope to me. Partly because I fired him. So that would definitely give him enough opinion of me. Surely my church taxes are higher than that. But maybe he doesn't pay it, yeah. Send him a gift, get him on my side. So like he's paying us 6.8 money per year, so yeah, we'll just about make that money back. So yeah, I think it looks like I can increase church taxes now, so I think I should do that. And then if we need to, we can't actually turn down levies any further, but I'm sure we can keep people happy somehow. Right, we now have higher church taxes, which will probably cause some of our church vassals to stop paying us taxes. Doesn't look like it has. Excellent. Right, more money for me. So like now the church vassals have a minus 10 for medium church taxes, but a plus 10 for oh dear, I've lost my kindness. That's pity. That was quite good for keeping the church on side. Still got enough of them, but right, Aversa now has the next level of Castle Town. We don't have enough tech for any more castle towns in Aversa. Portici has the higher... could still have a higher castle town if we had any money for it. So we should get that in due course. That place is still building. So yes, my church tax income is 35 gold a year. Not as good as my city tax income, which in turn is not as good as my domain income. Oh, we're having a battle. Well, it was moderately successful. Oh, I don't have a designated regent because my wife died. Indeed, I'm a bit short on minor things in general. Who would make a halfway decent regent? I think I want someone with a fairly solid amount of stewardship. Let's make it my heir, or heir intended. I'm no master of the horse. We will just do that by looking for disgruntled vassals. We kind of would like Edgefrith to become more disgruntled, though. Take our most disgruntled bishop, though most of the bishops seem surprisingly gruntled at the moment. Is there some... Well, I've got a phenomenal number of culture advance points lying around. A fair number of military advance points. Let's bump up siege equipment at least. My daughter Alicia, who is betrothed to Prince of Arles for historical reasons. Makes me go, actually, would you like an alliance? Maybe I have an alliance with you, I can never remember. I do have an alliance with you, excellent, I should remember that. She is just daughter of my steward and otherwise uninteresting. Right, yes, we are besieging something in the hope of getting a decent amount of war score. Oh, a lot of minor events. Let's just have a quick look through them. Boring, 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 boring. Right, that is the boring messages tab. So I really just want to cease being technically at war, so that I can then change the succession law in this duchy, in the hope that that will help with fixing with allowing me to grant out things in a slightly more sensible order. Valdemar is heir to the Kingdom of Arles, so that's a perfectly sensible marriage. Yeah, that's brave. It's organised about as well as we can hope. But like that's less than a 2-to-1 advantage. I'm not in mountains. And we've got much better commanders, so we might get away with this. It's okay, that worked. He's just a random courtier and is uninteresting. Well, except that like you might make a pretty decent spy master. Maybe we can make him my spy master and then see if we can manage to murder Bran. No, we don't want to murder Bran. We want to remove Bran's entitlement to the county. Quite tempting to make him my spy master, simply so we don't want to murder Bran, but we might be able to find a better way to get rid of Bran. Let's gratuitously appoint a new spy master. And set him doing things in CK2. Meant. We are besieging another place here. It will not take long. Then maybe Italy will be at peace for a little while. Oh dear. At age 73, your vassal, Count Marquardt of Orbitello, whom I granted the county to because it might be convenient, died of depression, and therefore I've inherited the county back from him. So we should find someone else to grant Orbitello to. My new spy master is far too young. My steward is rather too young as well. The Marshal is almost old enough that I could feel comfortable granting him a county, but not quite. So, have I got anyone kicking around in my court who might be safe? basically I want old men. Wondering if any claimants to any nearby counties would like to come and join my court, especially if they are elderly. Okay, I already have 2 claimants to that county, but they're not very elderly. She would join my court, but she's female and 24. I think I really want to be trying to take things off the just wondering, presume if, since I am currently at war with the Italian revolt, I therefore can't declare war on him for some other purpose. No. Right. So I should go to sleep fairly soon, but I'd like to get to a reasonably stable state, which is not with Italy in pieces still. Right. Oh, white peace? What? Okay. Right, so now that we are at peace... Oh, we've got so much money lying around. Right, well, let's build some more things. So, Aversa has the highest possible level of Castle Town. Portici does not. Portici has Castle Town, so we can get up to Castle Town 3. Portici has Castle Town 2. Pozzuoli only has Castle Town 1, so we should definitely upgrade that first. Teano has Castle Town 3. Monte Cassino has Castle Town 3. Currently hold Orvieto, which only has Castletown 2. On the other hand, I am kind of planning to get rid of that very shortly, so maybe that's not a high priority to spend money on. I currently hold Orbetello. Again, I'd quite like to get rid of that. I do want to keep Menorca, though. So Ciutadella only has Castletown 2, so let's upgrade that to Castletown 3. That's about enough money to spend. Now, so I have a variety of possibilities. I think I want to go for elective gavelkind. In theory, I could go for elective monarchy, but one, that seems a little less fun, and also it does have problems in that it reduces my domain limit. I have +1 domain limit for having a gavelkind, and I believe that applies to the elective one as well. And it also kind of annoys people, and it's a little more risky. More people become candidates. Plus, I haven't played significantly with elective gavelkind, so I think I'm going to propose that we change our succession law to elective gavelkind. Yeah, we're not going to be building a kingdom or an empire, I think. Yes. Anytime soon. Go. That just happens, does it? Right. So then I can nominate Guido as my successor. And then we can see what happens. So it started out all right, at least. Well, okay, we can hold a summer fair. What? I don't want to rule over Italy. What the hell just happened? I've just accidentally become King of Italy. I wasn't even trying to become King of Italy. And I'm thus no longer the vassal of the Pope, because I'm King of goddamned Italy. Well, that wasn't what I expected. Okay, what? I don't know how to deal with this situation. Right, eek. I think at this point I should go, well, that's enough for tonight. I've got a complete disaster on my hands, in a sense. And also I'm King of Italy. So that's the faction that just installed me. There's another faction that's trying to install someone else on the throne. Can't grant the Pope the Kingdom of Italy. Right. Well, that's an interesting situation. Like, there I was trying to pootle along as a little duke, and someone came along and said, no, you want to be King of Italy, don't you? Well, we can at least dismiss those troops since they're now in my territory. And then worry about what on earth we do as King of Italy. Like, I've suddenly got 24 vassals. I mean, I feel that this may be a bit like becoming Byzantine emperor, and that what you now mostly need to plan to do is work out how you're going to carry on after you cease being King of Italy. But which, like, should be fine. All being well, I get to keep my domain. How much of my land is in de jure Italy, then? Right, conveniently, pretty much none of my older lands are de jure part of Italy. Which I think will mean if I lose the Italian crown, I get to keep all of the old lands in... in the south. So it looks like Italy may have gained elective gavelkind, which is interesting. Or may have had elective gavelkind already. Right, well, wonder on under what circumstances I can pledge allegiance to someone else. Still, we're not at war. The dangerous faction is actually my own faction, so that's not a serious problem. And obviously what I want to try to do is to get the same heir to all of my holdings, but that will probably sort itself out a bit in due course. Anyway, yes, I'm not going to risk unpausing now. I'm going to save and go to bed. And we get to go what shortly afterwards. So, good night. Oops. Good night.